Hi everybody, it's the Soap Man and it's time to make some soap. So today's soap is going to be based on a soap that my buddy Camille from Morpho Soaps did a couple of weeks ago. If I remember, I'll put a link to his below. Go check him out. He did a color combination I never would have imagined together, never would have imagined looked together. So let me start by saying we're going to use Nature's Garden's Coconut Lime Verbana. And I'm kind of using this to go along with those colors. I have used it before, smells fantastic. It gave me a little bit of ricing, but it was very, very minimal, easily stick blended out, did not accelerate. The scent held really nice and strong in the cured soap, so I really like that fragrance. We'll be using that. So what he did, and what I'm going to do, is we'll be using my slab mold. He did a base layer of brown. I'll be using Nurture Soap's Mocha Brown, and I want kind of like a milk chocolate brown, so I'm going to go kind of light on that. Then the center layer had green and white swirled, and then he had brown on top, so I'm going to be doing the same. For the green, I'm using Nurture Soap's Lime Appeal to kind of go with the Coconut Lime Verbana scent. And my thought was the brown kind of represents the outside of the coconut shell. The white on the inside will represent the white meat inside the coconut. And the green will represent not only the coconut lime verbana in the scent, but the green coating that goes around the outside of a coconut while it's growing. So anyway, this one is also going to have some piping on top, some simple piping, and I am going to attempt a two-tone color again. Last time I did it, it didn't work out well at all, but I have done it in the past, and I'm going to monitor a little more closely this time. So I'll have some simple piping on the top with green and white. Let's get started. So since I have piping with this, it's a little bit bigger batch. I'm not used to working with quite this much. I'm soaping at about 85 degrees Fahrenheit, so as usual, I will slowly and carefully pour the lye water solution into the oils. Rinse my container, my lye container. And bring it to a very light basic emulsification. Oops. Which we have. So this first will be for our piping, so I'll fill it and set it aside. And that should be ample. Then these other four will be equally filled. As always, close is good enough. And we will clean our main pot out because I am finished with it. And I might make these two just slightly larger, and they'll be the green and the white on the inside. let's set those over there out of the way. And I'm actually going to set one of these out of the way because right now I'm going to work on the bottom layer. So let's just put 1 teaspoon in to see what that looks like, because I don't want a dark brown. And I think that is just right. That's actually darker than I wanted. That's too much, but that's alright. So I won't worry too much. I could lighten it with some TD, but I don't think I will. Put about 1/5 of our fragrance in. And let's see if it rises. No, I don't think it is. It did the last time. Very minor. Nope, it's not. That's good. So let's stick blend this up because I know it behaves and I want it to set up pretty fast. A pretty heavy stick blending, so let's get it into the mold while it's still fluid so we have a nice flat top on it. And because this fragrance behaves, I don't want to start mixing the next 2 up until I know that has set up, so I'll be back. Alright, I think it's safe to work on the middle layer, so we'll be using our lima peel, which is one of my favorite greens from Nurture Soap. Turns a pretty funky brownish green, not very pretty, but once it completely saponifies and the pH drops to closer to normal, it always goes back to its original beautiful green. And this will be titanium dioxide. Hand stir this in first. The TD, I'm going to be a little cautious because it's pre-mixed with oil, but it does still need to be hit with a stick blender fairly hard. So I'm going to go ahead and put our fragrance in and try to trap the head of the stick blender mostly on the dispersed TD so I get it really, really well broken up into the soap. So straight down on it. Now this is ricing on me. Once again, very minor. Yep, it riced too. Very minor. And the fact that this does not accelerate makes it not a big deal. Okay. And that's nice and firm, so I'm going to carefully do a drop swirl. I'm going to scrape these out because I am finished with these. I won't be using any of this on the top. And once again, it's going to have a top on it, but I'm just doing this more or less to flatten it out a little bit. And it's kind of satisfying to watch. Alright, way too thin to do the top, so we'll be back. Alright, I think it's safe to mix up our top layer, which will be the brown again. Other than minor ricing, this fragrance behaves so well. It's just unbelievable. And I want to keep this one nice and thin so I have a smooth top. So I will put the fragrance in, and if it rises okay, I'll hand stir it. Actually, I think it's the hand stirring it right at the very beginning that prevents it from ricing. I think it's letting it sit on top while I get ready to stick blend it that allows it to rice, because this isn't ricing at all. Very nice and fluid. And our frosting batter is holding up well. So let's get this stick blended. Won't hit it quite so hard because I don't have to wait quite so long for it to set up. I think that is more than ample. Yep, we're nice and set up. I'm going to slowly, carefully pour it just to be certain. Just kind of let it flood the mold. I think that's so satisfying to watch. Give that a jiggle, and that's going to have to set up before I dare even start the frosting. So, once again, I'll be back. Alright, we're back to cut our soap, and I'm really happy with it. The two-tone and the frosting turned out great. That beautiful green turned back to its normal color, and this fragrance, my gosh, this fragrance smells good. So let's dive right into it and see what we have. And here we go. Oh yeah, very nice. Very nice. And if you haven't used this fragrance, I highly, highly recommend it. It smells so good and behaves so well. And, most important, it holds up in your cold process. Oh yeah, look at that. That's exactly what I wanted. Exactly what I wanted. And this second log will look pretty much the same, so I'll cut it off camera to save us a little time, but this is exactly what I was planning. Exactly what I was hoping for. So yeah, I'm super, super happy with this one. So everybody stay safe, take good care of yourselves. Thanks for watching, and I should see you next week for some more soap. Bye everybody.